Good afternoon. My name is Nathan Hochman. I'm the District Attorney of Los Angeles County. Today we are holding a press conference to highlight an increasingly growing problem in our county, and that is street takeovers, illegal street takeovers. I'm sure many of you saw the video from this past weekend where we had one of these illegal street takeovers take place right next to the crypto arena. And generally what happens in these illegal street takeovers is that you'll have a promoter out there, usually on social media, and they will alert people where the street takeover is going to take place, what the intersection is, and it's often happening either in downtown or somewhere in South Los Angeles or San Pedro. They will notify literally hundreds of people who are on these various social media streams to say, come right now at this particular time to this intersection, and here's what generally plays out at those intersections. You will have a whole variety of street takeover drivers. This can be anywhere from 1 or 2 up to 30 or 40 different drivers that will show up at these intersections. And they will engage in highly dangerous and often destructive and even potentially deadly actions of gearing their cars around this intersection, doing these donut drifts in order to excite the crowd. And where it's being played out is not even necessarily right there at the intersection, but it's being streamed, live streamed and whatnot to get out on social media. The promoters are trying to make money from this. The drivers are often trying to make money or improve their street cred in the community. And the spectators are out there trying to enjoy. I don't even say enjoy. It's almost be titillated by this excitement of an illegal activity happening right there. But let me explain what's going on in real terms. And let me start with those. First, I'll start with the promoters. Those promoters who are promoting this illegal these illegal street takeovers are engaged in criminal conduct, misdemeanors and felonies as well. The people who are doing the driving, they're committing a whole variety of criminal actions, whether it's reckless driving, exhibiting high degrees of speed, and to the extent that they either hurt someone and create great bodily injury or kill someone, even much more extreme type of assault with deadly weapons, those being their cars, or vehicular manslaughter that will end up with them in basically years and years of state prison. But you also have the spectators. Turns out that the law in Los Angeles County provides that if you come out to be a spectator at one of these illegal street takeovers, you're committing a crime yourself. And those laws are right now saying that you can go to jail for up to 180 days or be hit with a $500 penalty. Supervisor Holly Mitchell has quite correctly highlighted this on the radar of the Board of Supervisors' consideration as she's trying to increase that penalty to $1,000. Eventually, I would say, and provide, by the way, that for your first offense, you can get diversion. You can go through a program that explains to you the dangers of illegal street takeovers and get that off your record. But I would say that if that does not dissuade you, I would ask the Board of Supervisors to keep ratcheting up the penalties. So the second time you get convicted once, maybe you went through a diversion program, it didn't work. Now you're back for the second illegal street takeover. That penalty shouldn't be $1,000. It should be $2,500. If you get convicted the second time and that doesn't dissuade you, the third penalty should be $5,000 and a year of county jail. If we keep ratcheting up those penalties, hopefully that will finally dissuade people if that first opportunity for a diversion program failed. And what you're going to hear is that we're going to describe to you two different cases, to show to you the type of destruction that street takeovers is wreaking on our society. Because as I was watching and others were watching this street takeover happen over the weekend, what people didn't really appreciate is what was going on in the entire neighborhood, not just the activity of the street takeover, but all the people who lived in downtown LA and were awoken in the early morning hours to literally commercial grade fireworks going out, cars spinning their wheels, smoke coming up, people screaming. This is what has been plaguing and ravaging communities for years. And what you're going to hear with the two cases I'm about to describe and the law enforcement that stands next to me is that we have said enough is enough. If you want to engage and promote these illegal street takeovers, if you want to go ahead and be one of these drivers in illegal street takeovers, if you want to be spectators in illegal street takeovers, we are going to hold you accountable. If you're a driver and you want to see that car crushed, literally crushed as we impound it, go ahead and test us. If you're a spectator and you think that you can get out without anything happening to you, you're going to hear a mother, Lorraine, Oaxaca, talk about what happened to her 24-year-old daughter who died tragically and senselessly as a result of one of these street takeovers. And if you're a promoter, if you think that you can sort of hide behind the social media and that you can promote these activities over and over again and make money from it, we're not only going to come after you, we're going to put you in prison as well. And you'll hear about one of those cases. The first case you're going to hear about occurred on Christmas night, 2022, and involves someone who has been charged and now convicted, Dante Chapple Young, 29 years old. He took part in a street takeover that night at the Florence Avenue and Crenshaw Boulevard intersection. He was in his 2011 Chevy Camaro, and he was spinning donuts. And he was being filmed and live streamed on social media. But what happened that particular night is that he lost control of his car. It clipped a tow truck. It spun into the crowd, because often these crowds are just few feet away from the donuts that are happening. And on that particular night, he killed a 24-year-old, Eliza, Oaxaca. Now, just in May of this year, he pleaded no contest to a felony count of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence and assault with a deadly weapon, that deadly weapon being his car. He also admitted that he fled the scene at that time and was caught and caused great bodily injury to a second victim. This past Friday on August 8th, he was sentenced. And this sentence was not a slap on the wrist. This sentence was 13 years of state prison for what he did. And with respect to what he did, what you'll also hear is that we had him, as part of a plea deal, do a public service announcement. That public service announcement is to explain to others what he has gone through and to encourage people not to engage in this type of reckless, dangerous, and ultimately deadly conduct. That public service announcement we can now broadcast for you. Where will this be broadcast? To the left here on the TV screen. And I hope this public service announcement by Mr. Chapple Young is played in every single high school throughout Los Angeles County. In fact, I would ask every principal of every high school, if you would like a copy of it, we will get you a copy. And you should play this to your high school at an assembly on the first day of schools, which are coming up. Because again, so often these young people, they just see the social media excitement of showing up at a street takeover and don't think that there could be any consequences, don't even really appreciate that they're engaging in illegal activity by even showing up. So I think of Mr. Chapple Young's announcement, his public service announcement about what has happened to him as he's going to be serving the next 13 years behind bars for his action, I'm hoping that that might reach some young people before they show up, before they get harmed, before they even die. And then Mr. Chapple Young's words will actually go ahead and hopefully deter that criminal conduct before it ever happens. The second case I'd like to bring to your attention is a case against 22-year-old Eric Romero Quintana. Mr. Quintana wasn't the driver, he wasn't the spectator, he was the promoter, the social media promoter, who thought that by hiding behind his computer, by hiding behind the internet, we weren't going to find him. Maybe he thought we didn't care about what he was doing on social media to go ahead and promote this illegal, destructive, and ultimately deadly type of practice, but we do care. And he's been now charged with 16 counts of conspiracy to commit reckless driving. That means that he conspired, he agreed with another person or multiple people to commit these various illegal acts. Now, as I've said every time I discuss charges, unlike with Mr. Chapple Young, who's pled no contest, his case is over. With Mr. Quintana, the charges are just that. They are not evidence. Evidence will be what we will prove in a court of law to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And what I'm discussing today is not evidence against him. It is just the charges that have been brought against him so far. And those charges show that for a year period between November 2022 and November 2023, Mr. Quintana has been accused of organizing 16 different street takeovers across South Los Angeles, using a variety of his social media accounts to notify those who are interested in attending where and when to attend. What you will see, and I'll point to the map we have to our left. The map we have to our left shows the 16 different locations on different nights that Mr. Quintana alerted people through his social media where and when these street takeovers were going to take place. What you'll see is that in two particular situations, on the night of October 7th and 8th of 2023, on 2023, what he would do is that he would alert people to the first location, which is the earlier location indicated on that map. In this case, it was a location that was at the intersection of Manchester Avenue and San Pedro Street. Now, when the police showed up to shut down that illegal street takeover, Mr. Quintana is accused of getting back on his social media and notifying everybody of a nearby location where a different street takeover was going to be taking place at Western and Century. And to give you an idea, he just didn't do this on that one night. Another instance, which is the third chart you have before you with the red indications, is that on the night of October 28th, 2023, he's been accused of doing this 3 different times. The first time at the intersection of Imperial Highway and Broadway, where he told all his social media followers, go there, street takeover taking place. When the police showed up there, he put them to a second location, this time at Manchester Avenue and San Pedro Street. When the police showed up there, he put them to a third location at Figueroa and 12th Streets. Now, Figueroa and 12th Streets, interestingly, is where we just had the last street takeover that everybody watched this weekend. It's not the first time that people have done a street takeover in front of the crypto arena. But with any luck, working with law enforcement, with the DA's office now unified in this effort, it will hopefully be the last time. So what this illustrates in these 2 different situations is two instances where we're going to go after different participants. In the first one with Mr. Chapple Young, the actual driver. In the second one is Mr. Quintana has been charged with the promoter. And we are working with the Los Angeles City Attorney's office also to go after the spectators. So I ask you this question. If you're the spectators, is it worth it? Is it worth it now to get a criminal record, to go ahead and get fined, potential of going to county jail? If you're a driver, do you want to be like Mr. Chapple Young and spend the next 13 years of your life in state prison if you engage in destructive, dangerous, or ultimately deadly conduct? And if you're a promoter, don't even think for a second you can hide anymore. We're coming after you. So let me now turn this over to law enforcement that has been working in this field for years and is now seeing, hopefully, the product of their hard work come to light. I'd now like to introduce Los Angeles Police Department Deputy Chief Donald Graham.
Thank you, Mr. District Attorney. On behalf of Chief McDonald and the employees of the Los Angeles Police Department and all the counties that we serve, let me start by thanking you. Thanking you and your team for your commitment to accountability for this horrible, horrible plague that continues to erupt in our communities. I've been enforcing street racing since the early 2000s when I was a much younger and better looking man. And I can tell you that the evolution of what we've seen on the streets has changed drastically since then. In 2000, we'd have people speeding in the valley racing one another, and that was dangerous enough as it is. But the activity that we're seeing today, mobs of people taking over populous intersections with interesting backgrounds to create a social media frenzy, bringing in hundreds of people to shut down the intersection, whether or not our citizens are there waiting innocently at a red light or not, and terrorizing the local community. This is not merely the racing for pinks that we recall from the movie Grease. This has evolved into organized crime, organized retail theft, in some cases human trafficking, and obviously, as we've already discussed, violence and loss of life. I want to talk about so far this year, the Los Angeles Police Department has done over 520 interdictions, and 496 of them, or 95%, have been street takeovers as opposed to street racing. We've made over 1,100 traffic stops. We've made 15 felony arrests for violent felons in possession of weapons, almost 200 misdemeanor arrests. We've impounded 300 cars in going about trying to enforce this throughout the county. We've done over 150 Bureau of Auto Repair inspections on vehicles that we've stopped. And we've cited over 120 people for being illegal spectators who are participating in an illegal fashion at a street race. And yet, so far in 2025, in the city of Los Angeles, 3 young people have lost their lives in street racing related activities. I also want to take a minute to talk to the social media executives out there. You're monetizing this criminal, dangerous, and deadly behavior. So maybe, just maybe, before you cut a check, maybe look at the content that you're sending out. When you watch this stuff on social media, it's very obvious what is happening. It's very obvious that it is dangerous, and it's very obvious that it is illegal. I want to thank the Supervisor Mitchell and the Board of Supervisors who have already passed a resolution to send letters to all the social media companies, putting them on notice in Los Angeles County, as we have done as the Los Angeles Police Department, that the continuance of showing and monetizing this activity could lead to them being held liable for the horrible outcomes that occur in the future. I want to thank the detectives at South Traffic Division and the detectives at our Gang Narcotics Division who had the suspect in custody that you saw a minute ago, 2.5 weeks after the incident occurred. He had fled out of state, and those detectives worked round the clock to bring justice to Eliza's family. And a horrible, horrible situation on Christmas Day. And what an incredible future as a nurse. I'm the son of a nurse who married a nurse whose mother's a nurse. So it's a loss felt heavily by me, because I have heroes, and they wear white. I want to acknowledge the work of LAPD Lieutenant Jesse Garcia and the Street Racing Task Force of the Los Angeles Police Department, whose incredible hard work uncovered Mr. Quintana and others like him, who are not just promoting street races, but promoting other illegal activity by using the street racing social media connections to connect people up to other illegal activity. And we will continue to investigate those crimes, and we will find you. I also want to thank Los Angeles City Council Member Bob Blumenfeld and the City Attorney's Office for their internal leadership in the City of Los Angeles that helped us lead to the passage of Assembly Bill 3085 in the last legislative section. And we will be continuing to work with our legislators at the state level, at the local level, and at the county level to give us more tools, not just to enforce the law, but perhaps to give options to our young people so that they don't have to take part in this activity out in our communities. Maybe they can do it in areas where the people are protected and they can still experience their love or their expression of their love for the automotive industry. And finally, since she's here today, I just wanted to thank Lily Trujillo and all of the members of streetracingkills.org. The comfort that you bring to the people who are involved in this activity, the fact that you turned your own personal loss into such an incredible fortification for our community. You are truly a hero and an angel, and so are the people who work for you. And it is an honor and a pleasure to work with you in educating our young people and hopefully keeping them away from this scourge in our community. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me, District Attorney Hochman. I'd like to introduce one of our incredible partners in this from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Assistant Sheriff Johnson.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you, District Attorney Hochman, for bringing together the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, LAPD, and the CHP. These partnerships are extremely essential because illegal street takeovers, are no longer just about reckless driving. Since January 1st, 2025, the LASD has responded to over 1,032 takeover-related calls across Los Angeles County, and that's a 37% increase over this same period last year. These gatherings are increasingly linked to looting, arson, vehicle theft, assaults, shootings, and even murder. They've also become venues for narcotics trafficking as well as human trafficking. And in these past several weeks in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's jurisdiction, in unincorporated Los Angeles County, a man was shot in the leg during a takeover by 3 armed individuals just several weeks ago. A few days later, at Gage and Compton in our unincorporated area, there was a suspect who broke into suspects who broke into 4 businesses, stealing thousands of goods worth of merchandise and damaging the property to the tune of over $25,000. And just a couple days ago, on July 28th, juveniles broke into a market in our unincorporated area during a takeover, taking liquor and causing major property damage. And these aren't isolated incidents. These are part of an escalating trend. In late 2024, the Board of Supervisors, in collaboration with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and a number of our county stakeholders, launched the Street Takeover Reduction Action Plan. And this plan is built on 5 very important key pillars: education, infrastructure, enforcement, community engagement, and then, as mentioned earlier by LAPD, by identifying perhaps legal street venues where these activities can take place in a much safer environment. It combines strong enforcement and prevention along with our community partnerships. In April, the Board of Supervisors doubled the fines participating as a spectator from $5,000 to $1,000 and called on social media platforms to remove or demonetize takeover-related content. And at the state level, there have been several recent assembly bills passed, AB 1978 and AB 2807. And that gives us the tools that we just spoke about a little earlier. It gives us the opportunity to expand the authority to cite and impound vehicles for participants, spectators, and those aiding at these takeover events. Organizers or stunt drivers face rising fines, 6 months in jail, your vehicle being impounded, and even forfeiture. And not to mention license suspensions for up to 6 months. Spectators who knowingly block streets or enable these events may be fined up to $1,000 and have their vehicles impounded. And for a local municipal code that we're utilizing in Los Angeles County, 13.46.010, it allows our deputies to cite spectators within 150 feet of a takeover in preparation for a takeover event. And under the vehicle code, deputies may impound cars up to 30 days when citing for speed contest, exhibition speed, and reckless driving. While AB 3085 and AB 2186, again, additional tools that we're utilizing, have also expanded these penalties to apply on private property, such as off-street parking lots where we're seeing this activity rise as well. But enforcement alone is not enough. In law enforcement, we're going to work hard to do our job. but we need the businesses also to help us harden your targets. Reinforce your doors and windows and consider the roll-up doors. And many of our businesses are doing that, again, to minimize their impact during these takeover events. Install high-resolution cameras and off-site storage. Use shatter-resistant window film. Keep valuable out of sight after hours, and coordinate with nearby businesses for a shared security plan. I think those are very important. And finally, to the public, if you see a takeover event forming in front of you, leave immediately. Don't engage these individuals, and call law enforcement from a safe location and give us as much detail as possible. Now, our department in the very near future is going to be piloting a program utilizing drones more effectively. They allow us a bird's eye view of these events as they take place and make things a little safer for our personnel responding in, because as a result of these types of events, assaults against our own personnel have been on the rise. We'll continue working with the District Attorney's Office, LAPD, and CHP and other community stakeholders to end this threat. Our goal is to make sure that the public knows that the streets belong to everybody and not just to those who endanger lives and livelihoods. Now, with that, I'll turn it over to Assistant Chief from the California Highway Patrol, Chief Zagorski.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the District Attorney's Office and our law enforcement partners also for standing here united against this most dangerous crime that we see on our roads today, the street racing takeovers that are occurring. I'm not going to sit and go over all the dangers that surround it, as all my partners and everyone has communicated, and also the tragedy that's demonstrated by the two families that have lost loved ones as a result of this criminal behavior that occurs. And it's intentional criminal behavior that is occurring out there by all parties that are involved. A vehicle weighing thousands of pounds, recklessly moving at high speed, is a dangerous weapon. It only takes a second for tragedy to occur. Whatever that might be or however that might happen, it causes great injury, death, or great property damage, but that ripples further into the families and the communities that it affects. It terrorizes the communities when it occurs there. The California Highway Patrol has been and will continue to be focused on enforcement. Ourselves, along with our partners in the District Attorney's Office, we will continue to focus our efforts to ensure that our officers are out there regularly conducting proactive enforcement and ensuring that all of those who are involved are held accountable for their actions and the things that they organize. We are also grateful for the community. We have always seen great support from the community through calling 911, to providing information on regular takeover spots, to the things that they do to disrupt their communities, and helping us to identify individuals who are involved in these. Calling 911 and giving a description, a license plate, leads to cases being solved and individuals being identified, us tracking down their vehicle and impounding it from their yard if need be for the behaviors that they did. The tools that we have are extensive, and we're committed to exercising all of them, just as all of our partners in the District Attorney's Office has communicated. We are all here to make sure that our streets are safer, that our communities are safer, and that they're not victims to this dangerous behavior of street racing takeovers that are occurring throughout the city and also the counties where the California Highway Patrol focus our efforts, and throughout the state. This is an effort for the entire state for the California Highway Patrol. I know together with our partners in the District Attorney's Office and our law enforcement partners, we can make an impact and continue to focus on this. We have had operations for a very long period of time. Just in the last 30 days, we've conducted 2 such operations targeting street racing takeovers, one of which the outcome is pictured in the very far poster to the left there. Amongst those just 2 details, in the last 30 details, we made 35 citations, 39 misdemeanor arrests, 6 felony arrests, and we impounded 34 vehicles, which are the instrument of the crime. Takeovers can't occur without a car. And it's something we have focused on for many years and will continue to focus on with our partners. And we thank again the opportunity to be up here to stand united and focused on this effort to make our roads safer. Thank you again. Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
And that's the message that we want to make sure everyone is understanding who's hearing this press conference, that law enforcement, whether it's LAPD, whether it's the LA Sheriff's Department, whether it's the California Highway Patrol, and the district attorney's office is united in going after the various participants in illegal street takeovers. From the district attorney's office, we actually have 3 of our leading prosecutors who are here today that have been dealing with street takeover prosecutions. Deputy District Attorney Saeed Taimouri, Deputy District Attorney Heather Brell, and Deputy District Attorney Daniel Ilakwa, who have dedicated enormous amounts of efforts to prioritize going after illegal street takeover defendants. I'd like to have I have the honor of introducing Lorraine Oaxaca. Lorraine Oaxaca is the mother of 24-year-old Eliza Oaxaca, who tragically lost her life as part of the illegal street takeover that you heard Mr. Chapple Young describe his involvement in. Ms. Oaxaca, there's no words that can describe or even begin to understand the tragedy that you have suffered and the pain that you've gone through. But I'd be very appreciative if you would be willing to address everyone and explain to them the impact of street takeovers on your life.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you. It's almost been 3 years since I lost my daughter, Eliza Oaxaca. Her life was taken away. It's been long and hard for me and my family. We have put the person and we have him where he belongs. And for that, I am truly grateful for all the agencies that were involved and all the work they put together to put him behind bars. And for all the men and women that put this case together and worked hard to get him sentenced. Dante is an example that he didn't choose to be, but he is now everybody else's due to street takeovers. I want to thank Lily for being there for me through all this. She's been a great support. We can try to move with our lives and attempt to recover. Eliza is our purpose and our hope. We will always remain lost without her, but we will find our way. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those words. And thank you as well for Mr. Elio, for all the great work you have done in this area to try and get the word out and try to avoid these tragedies from repeating over and over and over again. Because ultimately our goal is not to fill our prisons to the breaking point with a bunch of participants in illegal street takeovers. Our goal today is to see if we can deter some would-be people who are thinking about engaging in illegal street takeovers to not do it, saving the potential victims from ever going through that process.